For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
The trade deadline is just hours away, and sources are confirming to me that the Brewers are about to make a move that could change everything. A key piece from that big offseason trade is at the center of a new deal. Don't miss the full breakdown. Subscribe now so you don't get left behind. Hello, Brew Crew, and welcome back to your exclusive Milwaukee Brewers news channel. I'm your host, and if you want the fastest information, the deepest insights, and the most critical analysis on our team, you need to do one thing first. Hit that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming, especially with the trade deadline just a few days away. Believe me, what I'm about to share is something every single Brewers fan needs to hear. The conversation in Milwaukee and throughout the back channels of MLB has been swirling around our general manager Matt Arnold's strategy as the clock ticks towards July 31st. We have the best record in the National League, a 61-42 campaign as of this morning, and we're standing shoulder to shoulder with the Cubs for the lead in the NL Central. This is not a year to stand pat. This is a year to go all in. And according to my sources on what we're seeing unfold, the Brewers are far from finished making moves. We all remember the offseason trade that shook the fan base, saying goodbye to our all-star closer, Devin Williams, in exchange for left-handed pitcher Nestor Cortes and infielder Caleb Durbin from the New York Yankees. At the time, the reaction was mixed. Losing an elite closer like Williams is always a tough blow. However, the genius of the Brewers front office is playing the long game of chess, and that very trade might be about to pay dividends in a way nobody quite expected. Caleb Durbin, after an initial adjustment period, has been a revelation at third base. He's brought an energy and consistency that has solidified the left side of our infield. But the centerpiece of this news, the true catalyst for Milwaukee's next big move, is Nestor Cortes. When we acquired him, the expectation was that he would become a left-handed pillar in our rotation. Unfortunately, a left elbow flexor strain sidelined him after just 2 starts. An injury that could have derailed the lesser team's plans, but not this Brewers team. Under Pat Murphy's leadership, our rotation didn't just survive, it thrived. Jose Quintana stepped up as the veteran lefty. Freddie Peralta has been the ace we all knew he could be, and the young arms have shown incredible poise. Now Cortez is back, and he isn't just healthy, he's dominant. In his 4 minor league rehab starts with AAA Nashville, the numbers are staggering. He has posted a 1.0 ERA over 18.0 innings, 18 innings, 18 strikeouts, and a minuscule 0.72 whip. In his last appearance on Thursday, he fanned 9 batters over 5.2 innings. This isn't a pitcher just getting back on his feet. This is a pitcher making a statement. And that statement has been heard across the league. Reliable sources, including the well-respected Bob Nightingale of USA Today, have now confirmed what I've been hearing behind the scenes. The Brewers will officially begin listening to offers for starter Nestor Cortes. This is the essence of Milwaukee's strategy. They turned a problem, Cortez's injury, into an opportunity. The team proved they can win without him in the rotation. Now, with his return imminent and his trade value peaking due to this rehab performance, he has become the most valuable trade chip we could have. Cortez is a free agent at the end of the season, which means any team acquiring him is getting a high-quality rental for a playoff run. Exactly the kind of asset that commands a strong return at the deadline. So what does this move signal? It means the Brewers are in the driver's seat. We have a surplus of starting pitching, a rare luxury in baseball, especially in July. With Cortez healthy and Brandon Woodruff also nearing a return, we suddenly have more quality arms than rotation spots. This depth is our greatest strength in the trade market. We don't have to deal from a place of desperation, we deal from a position of power. The trade that sent Aaron Civale out earlier this year was just the appetizer. This, the potential Cortez trade, is the main course. The goal is clear and has been echoed by owner Mark Attanasio himself. Improve this team for a serious World Series run, and the most obvious impactful improvement we can make right now isn't on the mound, it's in the lineup. We need one more big bat, an impact hitter for the middle of the order, someone who can protect William Contreras and Christian Yelich and turn our offense from good to unstoppable. The original deal with the Yankees that brought us Cortez wasn't just about 2025. It was about flexibility and assets. Now that flexibility is about to be converted into offensive firepower. Matt Arnold is poised to use the very piece he acquired from the Yankees to make another deal, one that could define our season and establish us as the outright favorites in the National League. The question isn't if the Brewers will make a trade, but how big it will be. The big question every member of the Brew Crew is asking now is, if we trade Nestor Cortes, what's the return? What are we targeting? The answer is singular: offensive impact. Specifically, a corner infield bat that can add power and consistency to our lineup. And there's one name that keeps coming up in every conversation I have with league insiders: Eugenio Suarez of the Diamondbacks. Suarez is a perfect fit for what Milwaukee needs. He's a proven veteran, a power hitter with playoff experience, and he's on an expiring contract, making him the ideal trade deadline target. He would bring an intimidating presence to the middle of our lineup, offering protection for our best hitters and creating nightmares for opposing pitchers. Imagine a heart of the order featuring Yelich, Contreras, Suarez, and the young ascending Jackson Chourio. That would be one of the most dangerous lineups in the league. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in selling mode, and Suarez is one of their most attractive assets. To use our pitching depth, embodied by a healthy and ready-to-perform Nestor Cortes, to acquire a player of Suarez's caliber would be a masterstroke by Matt Arnold. It would be a clear statement to the clubhouse and the fan base that the front office is all in. Owner Mark Atanasio has said everything is on the table and that money isn't the issue, but rather the prospects we'd have to give up. However, in a trade for a rental like Suarez involving a rental like Cortez, the cost in terms of young talent could be far more palatable. Of course, Suarez isn't the only option. The Brewers front office is known for its due diligence and creativity. They could be looking at less obvious targets, perhaps a player with more contractual control or a different profile. But the need is undeniable. While Caleb Durbin has performed admirably, adding a bat like Suarez's would raise this team's ceiling to a championship level. Let's analyze the strategy further. Trading Cortez now capitalizes on his value at its absolute peak. If we wait, and he returns to the Brewers rotation and perhaps doesn't immediately replicate his minor league form, his value could dip. If he gets injured again, the value vanishes. The risk of keeping him is greater than the risk of trading him for a piece that fills our biggest hole. It's a cold professional calculation, but it's how you build winning teams. It's the same logic we saw in the Josh Hader and Corbin Burns trades. Sell a valuable asset at the right time to maximize the return and sustain long-term success. The difference here is that we're selling to win now. The beauty of the current situation is that the original Yankees trade has already given us a huge return in Caleb Durbin. Anything we get for Cortez is essentially a bonus. We've turned our closer Devin Williams into a solid starting infielder and potentially the middle of the order bat we've been missing for an October run. It's elite asset management, and it's why the Brewers continue to defy the expectations of bigger markets. The impact of a trade like this would transcend the box score. It would inject a wave of confidence and energy into the clubhouse. It would be confirmation for players like Yelich, Peralta, and Contreras that the organization is doing everything in its power to give them the best shot at winning a ring. That kind of move can galvanize a team, turning a good season into a historic one. So while the rest of the league scrambles, the Brewers are in an enviable position of control. They have the asset, Cortez, the need, an impact bat, and the motivation, a real shot at a title. The trade with the Yankees back in December wasn't the end of a story with Devin Williams. It was the beginning of a new strategic chapter, one that is about to reach its climax at the 2025 trade deadline. To break it all down, the situation is clear. The original Yankees trade was a masterclass move that continues to pay dividends. It gave us Caleb Durbin, a solid piece for the present and future, and it positioned us with a pitching surplus at the most crucial time of the season. Now the Brewers are poised to use that surplus in the form of a healthier and valuable Nestor Cortes to make the final push and acquire the offensive firepower needed for a deep run in October. The question I leave for you, the Brew Crew, is this: would you pull the trigger? Would you trade Nestor Cortes, who looks to be in top form, for a rental bat like Eugenio Suarez? Or do you believe our pitching depth is more valuable for the playoffs than adding another bat? Leave your thoughts and analysis in the comments below. I want to know what Brewers Nation is thinking. For instant updates on this and other breaking news, and for in-depth analysis you won't find anywhere else, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. The deadline is coming, and we'll be here covering every single move. Thanks for watching.